Hey guys, so anyways, you saw the title. Um, this is just my personal experience. I'm sure I've complained about it a lot, but I figured I'd make an official video on it. Also, I'd just like to quickly say that I think the last video I posted, it's getting more views than normal, and I think everyone's disappointed when they click on it and realize that it's actually just me ranting about my own problems. And doesn't have to do with any sort of theories at all about the 2020 effect. Anyways, as a trans man who gets his period every day, first of all, let me just say, it's not fun. I mean, I'm sure even like a cis woman who got her period every day would be like, wow, this sucks. I don't like this. So, I started testosterone in September of 2022. And around 6 months afterwards of doing testosterone injections, my periods stopped coming every day. So they became less and less frequent. And then eventually, after a year on testosterone, I didn't get my period at all for a whole nother year. But because my skin was being a bitch, I would inject it intramuscularly at first, but they left a bunch of bruises on my leg, and my dad had to do it for me, and I could personally not bring myself to stab myself in the leg, because it hurt. So I started doing it subcutaneously, which means through your fat, and I did it in the fat in my stomach. And then it started getting really thick, so the needle wouldn't go through, and it would just like kind of get stuck when I was trying to poke it in, so then I had to shove hard, right? And that would really hurt. So I talked to my doctor, and then we switched to gel. Well, apparently it's not as potent. I believe that it will give you the same effects if you're just starting on testosterone, so I guess you don't have to worry about that. It'll still give you all the same changes, and but I just don't think it's as potent. It doesn't. When you're injecting, it like goes directly into your bloodstream, right? And I would only have to do that once a week. When I have to do gel, I have to do it every night. And so I just don't think that the gel soaking in through my skin is as effective for me as injecting something directly into my body, into my bloodstream. And, well, I got my period when I was around 13, and from the get-go, it was pretty bad. I'd say after like 4 months or so, it was already pretty bad. And I thought, getting my period for 2 weeks, that's normal, right? Not normal. You shouldn't be getting your period for 2 weeks. So if that's you, you should probably talk to your doctor. And this goes on for like a year and a half or so, and I'm getting periods pretty much every day now, and it just gets worse because now it's like basically all day every day. And you can guess, me as a man, I don't as not a female, it's not great, because it reminds me of parts that I don't like to acknowledge that I have. And it just wasn't great. I was filling up like full pads, full size 4 pads, okay? Size 4, size 5 pads. It's basically like wearing a diaper, okay? And I was filling up at least 4 of those every day. And you know what? I I didn't develop anemia. Just fucking built different. And so I was just like, I don't think this is normal, right? I don't think I can fucking do this anymore. I'm gonna kill myself because I'm so dysphoric and sad. So I go to see oh my god, a gynecologist. I go to see a gynecologist, right? She's like, that's a little concerning. So I go to do an ultrasound, and there's nothing there. Because I guess she was thinking I had some sort of, like, uterus cyst or something like that. And there wasn't that. So, I don't know. I was kind of hoping something would be there so that they could take it out and my problem would be solved. But anyways, she put me on some sort of birth control. It was like a pink one. I don't know what it was called, but it was like some sort of pink birth control. And I would skip the placebo week of pills. And I would just take it every day. It did not help at all. In fact, it made my period cramps even worse. So, anyways, I still did that for a while, and then I stopped after testosterone naturally stopped it. But obviously, when I switched to gel, which is where we're at now, I'm experiencing that problem again. I'm getting my period every day, and since I'm trans now, I'm taking norethindrone, and it is a type of birth control without estradiol, I believe. So it's a tiny green pill. I take it every day as well, and it's not helping at all. It's not making my cramps worse. I'd say some days I get bad cramps and some days I don't, and it doesn't even matter how much I bleed. The cramps are just like random intensity at a random day. You know, if they want to fuck me over one day, they can, and if it doesn't want to hurt one day, then so it doesn't matter how much I bleed. The two, like the cramping and the bleeding, is not linked for me at all. And yeah, so that's not working at all. I'm still bleeding every day, and man, I've been taking it for about a month now. I was looking up online like how long is it supposed to take to kick in, and it's like maybe a week or two. So figures it doesn't work for me because shit never works for me. I've never had any official diagnosis for any uterus related issues. My grandma on my dad's side has that side of the family has a history of like irregular periods. So that's probably where I got it from. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't be alive because I've inherited all of the bad traits, bad physical traits from both of my parents. Like scoliosis and, well, dyslexia isn't necessarily a physical trait, but I couldn't read for a while and that was kind of bad. And probably some other things. Yeah. So yeah, no official diagnosis, but how I deal with it every day without wanting to kill myself is I I don't know. I don't know how I do it, but sometimes it really gets me down, and sometimes I'm just able to joke about it and say, "Ha, aha, I have my period every day. Isn't that funny? Guys, that's so funny. Something's wrong with me, and no one can tell me what it is, and no one can help me. Since no one can actually help me or tell me what is wrong with me, I just have to deal with it day to day by myself, which, as you may know, takes a toll on my mental health. So I try to joke about it, and I try to make it, oh, he, but it's not. It's not. Now, good thing, I'm not a very athletic person. I go to the gym, and that's about it. I used to go to the beach when I was younger. Then I stopped going because I was too dysphoric by my chest. But now that my chest is gone, I'm on testosterone and I have body acne. So I don't really want to go anyways. How would you even go swimming with your period? I've never used a tampon before. I don't know if that's TMI, but listen, I'm not sticking anything up there. Can you shut? Okay. I'm not sticking anything up there. Nuh-uh. Not happening. Nope. And, yeah. My doctor suggested that we could also use this sort of little metal birth control thing that they would stick up my... And I said, you know what? I would like to try the pills first again. I don't really want to acknowledge that thing or fucking touch it. Ew. Or stick anything up there. I don't know what is in that void. I don't really want to know. Ugh. Just thinking about it. I just... Nah. No. Yeah. And I refuse to wear women's panties. Even though I don't have a pair of balls or a penis. I refuse to wear that shit. So, you can actually make it work. You can actually still use a pad with boxes. It's just, you have to know, you have to be experienced, and you have to know exactly where to place it, so it doesn't make a mess. That's all I'll say. So, yeah, I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I do it. Nuh-uh. I don't know how. I wish that someone would just tell me what's wrong with me and then help me fix it. But I think I'm asking for too much. So, yeah, that's all. That's the video. I don't know. It probably wasn't helpful. If you have the same problem as me, I would say to see a doctor, but you're probably gonna end up like me. And the doctor's not gonna tell you anything, so... I don't know, guys. I don't know.